Hi, I'm doing Paul McWhorter's Arduino Uno R4 lessons, and this video is to show my solutions for lessons number 31, 33, 35 and 36. I thought this might save a bit of time. Now, lesson number 31 is to use a DHT11, find out the temperature and humidity and display it on the LED matrix. And I'll just explain a bit of my code because I don't tend to do things like normal people do. I'm initially having a little splash screen there, and that's what it is. I've defined it there, and I've defined the blank screen. Now this is a much more memory efficient way of saving the details of the little LED matrix rather than that, because that is 8 times 12 bytes, when really all you need for each element is a bit. So you can find out all about that. You can find out all about that in the documentation. So suffice it to say, that's just what I'm doing there. There's a splash screen, there's a blank screen. I'm using 2 pins. One is a go pin, as Paul explained, and the other one is a scale pin that I'm using to toggle from displaying Fahrenheit to centigrade. And I'm putting an interrupt on it, so it has to be on pin number 2 or number 3. None of those variables are interesting at all, so we'll go on to setup. Now the setup, I'm setting up the 2 pins, I'm attaching the interrupt to the scale pin, and when I press and then release it, it calls the change scale bit. I'm just setting up, starting everything and loading the first screen, then blanking it out. So change scale. It comes in and it says, hello, scale button has been released, and that bit there, the millis, previous time, blah blah blah, is debouncing the button, which I'm sure everyone knows about it, and then I'm just toggling. Now I'm told that if you're using variables in something called by your interrupt, it works a lot better if you call them volatile. So there we go, volatile, volatile. So we can get rid of the setup. We're down to the jolly old loop. Now I'm not bothering to say to have but val, old but val, whatever, because I'm saying you're just waiting until the button's pressed, and once it's been pressed, you do the business. And then it doesn't really matter what anyone's doing with the button, all the time that's going on, and then it just comes back and it says, is the button pressed? So it means that if you want, you can just keep your finger on the button, so it will display it, display it, display it, display it. So I'm reading the temperature in centigrade now and the temperature in Fahrenheit. Now I think it's a bit lame that you put true or false in there, because who can remember whether it's true or false for centigrade or Fahrenheit? So I've created a couple of Boolean things, read F and read C. So instead of putting true in there and false in there, I've just put in read F, which is true, and read C, which is false. So it makes it a lot readable. I'm getting the humidity, checking to see whether I got a valid reading, and then I'm using the read C and read F to get the to compute the heat index. I'm down here, I'm using printf, which I have covered in another video, and I've just included libprintf there. I'm sure people, if they're interested, could find out about that. but it means you can get a nicer output, because you can format things a bit like in Python. You can format things as opposed to just shoving them out. Now this is where I'm setting the message to be displayed. If it's Fahrenheit, I set up the string to be Fahrenheit, and if it's centigrade, I set it up to be centigrade. Just print it out, and then I'm shoving it out on the jolly old monitor. And in the begin text, the third element, parameter, that's what, people put 255 dot comma naught, but what's the point? Because you can't have it any color other than red. So if you put anything in there, it will turn it on, and if you put 0, it will turn it off. So that's about it really, and then it goes back up to the top. And any time that you press the other button, it will switch from centigrade to Fahrenheit and to centigrade to Fahrenheit. So I've already got it loaded on my thing. So I will press that. Watch the little screen, and I found that if you create a shadow, you can see better. So I'm pressing it. DHT. Ta-da! 4 seconds later, up, gone. Right. Now I'm just pressing the button for go, and I'm displaying, as well as scrolling across, I'm displaying it on the serial monitor because it's easier to read. So I'm pressing that, and it starts off in Fahrenheit, and it's going 71.96. I don't know why I'm reading from the little screen. I could just read from the serial monitor, couldn't I? And so could you. Right, so that is showing it in Fahrenheit in your own time. Now if you press the other button and then go again, it's in centigrade. Hurrah! Now if you keep your finger on the button, you can actually press the blue button as well, and next time round, when it eventually comes round, next time round, it will have magically, maybe I should have scrolled it faster, it will magically be displaying in Fahrenheit. Well, that's my solution to homework 31, and I will just pause the video and set everything up for the next program. That didn't do anything. Hi, I've switched over to my Freenove projects board because I couldn't find a thermistor, so I'm using a built-in one. Now I've written this program, and it means that I can run all the homework programs without having to upload them. So void setup, I'm just setting up the serial monitor. Void loop, I'm just saying hello, which homework do you want to run? All very simple. So I've got all the variables that I need, I've set up all the pins that I need, and now it's just the little homework. Now this is the using the thermistor to light an LED, and if it's sunny the LED will be dull, and if it's dull the LED will be brighter. So I'll just reset that. In fact, I'll reset it again so you can see the message. Which homework would you like to run? 331. Well, the LEDs come on, so I take my trusty torch shine it at the thermistor, and it's duller when the torch is on it, and everything seems to be working fine. Yeah. Next program. Close that, open that. This is exactly the same thing, only instead of the LED, I'm using a servo to demonstrate it. So no expense spared on the props. Right, it's 332. Shine the torch on the thermistor. It's sunny, it's duller, it's sunny, it's duller. Right, next program. Now this is grades. So what we're doing is we're prompting the user for how many grades, inputting the grades, and then outputting the minimum grade, listing all the grades, outputting the minimum, the maximum, and the average grade. So you have to have at least one grade. Yes, I'm clearing out the grades first of all. And you have to have at least one grade, and then your grades have to be between 0 and 100, otherwise you go back. And all I'm saying is, if it's the first grade to be input, obviously it is the high grade, it is the low grade, and it is the sum of grades, and then you just go back up. So now for your next grade, you're adding the grade to the sum, comparing it with the high and low, and then when you've done that with all of them, you just calculate the average and list out the grades and list the high, low and average grade, which is all very simple. So this is number, in fact we don't need that, that's a bit distracting. That's a sloth, I think, or sloth. Which is, that isn't me just out of the bath. So we'll go 30, oh no, it's 35 this time. Now it says how many grades, so we will put in 3, input grade 100, 20, 50, and it says your grades are 100, 20, 50, high grade 100, low grade 20, average grade is 170 divided, yeah, that looks about right. Now you want to run it again, not run it again, but carry on, just in case you haven't cleared out your variables. So how many grades? I'll put in for input grade. We'll go 20, 20, 60, and 90. And whoops, and here we are. 20, 20, 60, and 90. High grade 90, low grade 20, average grade is 190 divided by, so that's 96. Yeah, that's about right. Next program. In fact, I will clear that serial monitor before I go to the next program. Now, this one is, get rid of that one, the same as the last one, apart from Paul's wanting us to sort. So, as before, prompting, clearing out the grades, prompting for how many grades, and inputting them. And I am doing what I called in my Python program, an insert sort, but I don't know whether you can actually call it an insert sort, because with C you have to have defined how big your variable is, so it doesn't work exactly the same. When I did it before in Python, it was so much easier. I could just insert the grade in the right place or tag it on the end. In C, I'm having to put it on the end and then doing a bubble sort to put it back. So I will right. So here we are. First grade is in. It says, is this the first grade? If it is, I just add it to the sum and I continue. I'm not bothering to work out the average. No, I'm not bothering to work out the high or low grade here. And then I'm just, if it isn't the first one, that means I just add it to the sum of the grades. Now, it is now in the last position in the table, so I'm doing the bubble sort from the bottom. So it's saying, do I want to swap, do I want to swap, and then that's just the swap there. So it ought to be more efficient, because as opposed to having to go all the way down every time, I'm just doing one swap for the second grade, potentially one swap, and maximum 2 swaps for the third grade, etc., etc. And then when I've got them all in the right order, doing my nice little insertion sort, which isn't, the average grade, of course, is the sum of the grades divided by the number of grades. But this is why I didn't need to work out the high grade, because it's just the first in the array, and the low grade is the last in the array. And I'm just printing them out, and that's it. So this is homework 36. How many grades? 5. Input grade 1. 100, 20, 100, 90 and 80. Your sorted grades are, yep, they're in the right order. High grade of 100, low grade of 20, average grade is too difficult. Oh, 200, 290, 374. Yeah, that looks about right. Now I just run it, put in 3 grades just to see whether it's cleared out. You put grade 30, 40, 50, and there we have sorted grades in the right order. High grade 50, low grade 30, average grade 40. The only thing that makes this method not so good is that if you had loads of grades, and the best case scenario is if you are inputting your highest grades first. But if you have them all backwards, like if you put in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, the bubble sort is having to go all the way back, and it will actually slow down the inputting process. But small price to pay. Right, I cannot pause the video because this has gone long. So